Good evening, everyone. Welcome here for round 25 of the Sony Cup Series 2022 championship season. Cody Llamas is on pole position and Kurtis Racing is riding a wave of momentum. Jeffery White taking the win at Martinsville after the favorites, Eric DeMax, Jesse Turner, and others fell apart at the end of the race and opened the doors for Jeffery White to steal the win away. Jeffery White will come from 18th starting position this afternoon, but the focus is on the championship battle ahead for today's race. Only 2 races remain in the championship for this season, Rockingham and Atlanta. Rockingham has been the penultimate round of the season for the last couple of years. DJ Kurtis has the opportunity this afternoon to clinch the championship. The championship scenarios are simple for Kurtis. He has to outscore Jake Baskinger by 22 points, and he has to keep Cody Llamas within 19 points, DeMax within 25, Schwellenberg within 26, Benyako and Weeks cannot gain more than 45. That is the scenarios. It would be very tough for Kurtis to actually be able to pull it off this afternoon, but the mathematics agree that it is very much possible this afternoon that DJ Kurtis could be crowned a 3-time Sony Cup Series champion here at Rockingham this afternoon. However, Jake Baskinger returning to this race after being sat out at Martinsville due to a concussion protocol. Him and Dom Caps are back. RJ Bishop still in the 71 car for this race. Let's get down to start it. Race car leads the 42 car field off of pit road. The championship will be one to watch for the rest of this afternoon. All 42 drivers. Only 1 car took a provisional this afternoon. 3 drivers got in on speed in provisional land, so provisionals are slowly running out. But up at the front, 3 drivers you see in the first 2 rows trying to keep their championship alive. Llamas, Schwellenberg, and Benyako have to gain a ton of ground in the championship on DJ Kurtis if they want to still be in the fight for this. Eric DeMax the same way. Jake Baskinger just has to stay within enough points, and he's mathematically in the hunt. A cloudy day here at Rockingham. We're racing for round 25. Sean Harple, who qualified on the outside front row, did not get a good start. Already down to 4th position. Cole Baker in the 99 hit the wall off of turn 2. Rockingham will be very treacherous this afternoon. A windy racetrack for this race. You'll slide out and hit the wall in turn 2 if you're not careful. It is pushing that way. Charlie Smith in the 76. He'll be moving from Horizon Group to Crossroads Racing for next season as an open entry for next season. And as far as charters for next season, Great Lakes Motorsports in the 57 have to be averaging about 31.5 points from this race and Atlanta to try and have enough points to secure the final charter for next season. And I don't know if that's going to be possible now. Now, Farrell and Great Lakes Motorsports have had outstanding runs, but after their problems they had at Martinsville, they're in a hole, and it looks as though Shade Benyako Racing are going to have enough points to secure the 36th and final charter for 2023. As the field is spreading out just a little bit, Dylan Schwellenberg in car 10 has had a rocky last few months in this 2022 season. Him and his teammate and owner, Matthew Rodriguez, 2nd and 3rd behind Llamas. It's a long day this afternoon. You have to watch out for your tires. This is a tire-eating racetrack. Rockingham and Atlanta are kind of similar in a way. Tire wear, very key. You have to watch out for them Goodyear tires. Next year, we'll have Goodyear and many other different tires bringing to the racetrack. Pirelli and Bridgestone and a bunch of others going to be on the race cars. This is the first time ever in the Sony Cup Series, other than Goodyear, will be providing tires to the Sony Cup Series. Jesse Turner, what a heartbreak at the end of last week at Martinsville. You know, was looking poised to finally grab a win in the 2022 season and continue that streak of what would have been 8 years consecutively of scoring a race win, but this year it's just not happened for him. And with 2 races to go, that was his best chance to do it at Martinsville. And he got hung up on the curbing, had to get towed back to the pits. Sean Harple outside pole, but he's already down to 6. Anthony Marchese, who's really turned the heat up in the second half of the year. He's right there on the back bumper for 6th position. Benyako looked like he wanted to take a peek at the inside of Rodriguez. DJ Kurtis is in 8th, with Dejon Weeks and Dylan Young making up the top 10. Another battle we haven't really discussed with much this season because it's going to be irrelevant when we go into 2023, but the top 30 in owner points battle, there is a little bit of a bonus for finishing inside of the top 30 in owner points, and so that is still up for grabs. You know, those that finish in the top 30 owner points not only usually were locked into the end of the race, usually locked into the start of next season, but they get a little bit of a bonus as well. So money-wise, that's big for them. And, well, North Border Motorsports and Flipside Motorsports, car 33 and car 51, they came into this race tied in owner points. I didn't see Will Goss, but Will Goss in the 51, he's had a good few weeks lately. He's inside the top 20. And currently, Goss is going to be racing with Brandon Beal this afternoon to make sure he stays inside of the top 30 in owner points. Talked about it at the top of the show, but Tom Capps and Jake Baskinger, they are back for this race weekend. Ace Wild was racing at Martinsville, and Lane Sanders was in the 97 for Jake Baskinger. And Tom Capps, right now he's running inside the top 20. He ran really well in practice, to be fair. But Capps back in the race car. He'll be driving the 82 car for next year, replacing Samuel England. And Jake Baskinger, this is going to be his retirement season and second in the championship. Retirement from full-time competition. Baskinger entering Homestead was 61 points clear for the championship, and 2 races go by, and he is trailing by 28. That is how quickly it can diminish and fall apart. That's a swing of almost 90 points. Jake Baskinger has lost over DJ Kurtis in the last couple of weeks. Kurtis ended up winning at Homestead and finished on the podium at Martinsville. That's a ton of points lost by Jake Baskinger when he's only scored about 4 points since then. Alex Benyako moving his way up into 3rd position. Matthew Rodriguez slowly falling backwards. He's all the way down to 9th position. Baskinger closing in on DJ Kurtis. Kurtis is now up to 6th position. Baskinger desperately needs to make up any points possible to finish ahead of car 19, and today's race is paramount for his championship hopes. Looking a little deeper in the pack, Nick Mace in car 20. He has had a pretty miserable year, all things considering. Outside the top 30 in points, and having to qualify his way into races is something I don't think fans, drivers, or teams alike would have really expected from Nick Mace. And, well, coming back in 2021 to race full-time after bowing out in 2019 just has not worked out for Nick Mace and his team. You know, returning to the final couple of races in 2020. And as that Vince Freeze in car 25 has an issue. Looks like a flat tire. We had these issues at Martinsville as well. And it's a tough break for Vince Freeze, who was running well inside the top 20. And here comes Jake Baskinger, championship leader, looking to try and get 8th position on Sean Harple. Harple defending against Jake Baskinger, but Baskinger actually has a good car, able to drive up off the corner. Rodriguez falling down to 10th. Baskinger up into 8th position, only a couple positions behind Kurtis. But like we were mentioning, as Freeze goes a lap down, Mace has had a very miserable season. Baker back here had a tough start after hitting the wall. RJ Bishop in car 71, still a learning curve for him in this Sony Cup Series racing. Still qualifies as a Rookie of the Year contender. He's only made a handful of starts in the Sony Cup Series, passing Samuel England, who has had a tough start to this race. England going over to JSR next season. Richard Johnson going Napa Truck Series racing. He's down in the 30s as well. A tough start for some of these drivers. Chris Dodd in 30th. Then Cal Farrell and John aren't just ahead of him. Peter Onchak, Charlie Smith. And the 33, Brandon Beal losing a couple of places here. Ryan Griffin's had a tough outing at Martinsville. Had that flat tire, made contact with Dejon Weeks, and Weeks was not at all thrilled, but not a whole lot that Griffin could have done. And Griffin outside the top 20 for now, but he's going to have to make adjustments on that machine. And Daniel Bouchard, give a call to him. He's had a very good start to this race, even though he's falling outside of the top 28 now. And Jeffery White, last race's winner, struggling right now mid-pack. Cody Llamas on lap 23 of today's race, already with 130 laps to go. It'll be a long one, but it will go by in a hurry. Only 1 mile, a little over a mile length is Rockingham. And, well, Cody Llamas carrying that momentum for Kurtis Racing. They were so frustrated that Kurtis Racing and CM Racing Alliance had a lot of friction after Homestead, with CM Racing really finding their feet. They've always had a little bit more than Kurtis Racing in terms of speed and performance, but it looks as though the Chevy camp has turned their focus to Kurtis Racing after all that, because, well, Jeffery White won Martinsville, and now Cody Llamas, starting from pole, has led all the first 25 laps. Jeff James and car 18 for Joseph Strigley Racing. They got their first top 10 of this season last week and ran very well, might I add. And, well, Jeff James, we know he is not going to be in that car next season. He's actually going to be going to Kurtis Racing's Hardy's National Series program and going to be fighting for wins in the Hardy's National Series. And, well, JSR has been looking very fast as of late, but not had the finishes to show for it. And they've been able to get in the top 10 throughout the races and showed some pace to run in the top half of the field. And I think that's, good for 2023. You know, they have Samuel England, who has been a very good performer for Red Bull Racing, getting on loan for them, going to drive for that 18 car next season. And then also Dane Stinson, a very standout Monster Energy Racing driver, going to be racing in the second JSR car. And they both have charters next season. JSR does, which they got from Fitzorder Racing Team, who will now be an open car team. Caps has moved his way in the top 15. Eric Damax has fell outside of the top 10, with Silver Fox and Dylan Young falling a little bit of a ways back, but they are closing in on Matt Rodriguez and Sean Harple, who have not looked like very good in the first half of this race so far. And how about this? Dejon Weeks and Jake Baskinger have just passed DJ Kurtis. Kurtis has fell from 6th position down to 8th, and Jake Baskinger, second in points, has gotten his way around car 19, and that's 1 extra point in Jake Bassinger's favor. Instead of 28 points behind, it's now 27. So, still a long ways to go. If Bassinger can get up there and fight for the win today, he desperately needs one. Needs to try and get as much points as possible. But Kurtis, if he can just run very solid from here on out in this championship battle, it's very likely Kurtis could take the crown. But Kurtis is very much adamant that he has to perform in these final 2 races, because we saw what happened with Jake Bassinger. It's never over till it's over. And when that checker flag flies in Atlanta, we'll know for sure who is champion for this season. Weeks in car 30, he's had the worst luck this season. Could have fought for the title this year, but just things did not pay out. He's had about 6 or 7 DNFs this year and been involved in about 7 or 8 wrecks. And it's just not been the year for Dejon Weeks and Monster Energy Racing. And to be fair, Rodriguez Racing has also had pretty bad luck. And Jesse Tunner, man, this has just been a poor year for the defending champion, who's going to have to hand over the crown to somebody. And he's hoping it's going to be to that driver, car 97, Jake Bassinger. Here comes Kurtis, going to try and fight back against Jake Bassinger. Side by side into turn 1, the championship contenders doing it out. And Bassinger has a better drive off the corner. Bassinger's been so good when it comes to getting the launch off these corners, but Kurtis is going to drive it in and roll it through the center and move Kurtis back up to 7th. John Weeks has closed in on the battle for 5th place. Here comes Weeks to the inside of Anthony Marchese. We mentioned it earlier in the race, but Marchese has done phenomenal for Rodriguez Racing in turning that 54 program around. And, well, that 54 car might as well be the 33 for next season. And many people believe that North Border Motorsports, with that tight-knit alliance with Rodriguez Racing, could be very fast for next year. And it's still, North Border Motorsports has yet to announce a driver or drivers for that 33 car next season, and many people believe it to be as quick and as good as that 54 car because of the team shutting down. But not entirely sure how teams are going to adapt to the 2023 regulations. Weeks, though, working on Jesse Tunner. And up ahead, Alex Vignacco right there with Dylan Schwellenberg. Now, it is a very cloudy day, a lot of grip on the racetrack, and in turn, that's allowing these drivers to kind of not struggle with their race cars as much in the years past. In the years past, they slide around a lot more because of the sun hitting the racetrack. A cloudy day is allowing for drivers to have much more control of their machines. But way up front, Cody Llamas has been superior in the opening 40 laps, pulling the gap to now over 3 seconds. And, well, it's all going to come down to strategy at this point. Dylan Schwellenberg, Alex Vignacco, second and third. They look good, but they're going to have to find a little something if they want to challenge the 48 for today's race. No way! Cody Llamas from the lead has led every lap so far of the 46 laps done today. And Cody Llamas, the race leader, is out. This is the same kind of thing that happened to Eric DeMax. Eric DeMax was leading at Martinsville, and Jesse Tunner as well had an issue from the lead. The leader's curse in these final 3 races of the season. It's like you don't even want to be leading the race because you'll get taken out. And an engine failure from the pole sitter has led the first 46 laps, and it is over. Llamas' championship hopes also out. Here it is again in a replay. Cody Llamas had lapped up to the 29th place car on the racetrack, and the engine just lets go. It's almost like he was overheating behind the 71 or something, but wow. Well, GM Motors had a lot of engine failures at Martinsville as well, and problems at Rockingham. That's a lot of cause for concern for GM. And while that happened, Alex Vignacco has worked his way around of Dylan Schwellenberg. And Vignacco, just like Schwellenberg and a few others like Dejon Weeks behind him, they need to make up points on DJ Kurtis. How much, you say? Well, Vignacco, he would need a lot of luck. Him and Dejon Weeks as well. 45 points. And, well, all Kurtis would need to do to make sure Vignacco and Weeks are not in the title decider at Atlanta is to finish 38th or better. And here comes Dejon Weeks. What a run. Vignacco way up high, had to lift a ton. Here comes Weeks to the inside of Vignacco. Battle for second, no longer a battle. Weeks has it. Dylan Schwellenberg takes the lead at Rockingham. And deeper down in the top 10, Jesse Tunner's 4th, Marchese 5th, and DJ Kurtis still holding on to that place for 6. Just ahead of Jake Baskinger. Baskinger needs to get this point back. He's got a run on Kurtis. Kurtis, though, gonna try and stay ahead of him. 1 and 2 in the championship, door to door yet again here at Rockingham. Both drivers giving each other all the respect in the world in this championship fight. They are not as close as they should be, really. Last race, Baskinger was 15 points ahead of Kurtis. And, well, Baskinger couldn't even race. And Kurtis went on to finish on the podium, gained a ton of ground in the championship. And Kurtis, finishing just behind Baskinger today, would do not a whole lot in Baskinger trying to take back the championship lead, but he still would be in the hunt for it. Harpo's in 8th, Dylan Young and Matt Rodriguez rounding out the top 10. Eric DeMax in car 0. There's Vince Freeze trying to get his lap back. He's charging through the field. He had to come down pit road earlier due to a flat tire. Silver Fox, Caps, James, and Davidson, the top 15. Dejon Weeks has been closing in on Dylan Schwellenberg in the last handful of laps. Here comes Schwellenberg. I think he's going to pit. Yes, Dylan Schwellenberg in car 10, the Rodriguez Racing Team, calling him down pit road. He's going to be the first of the leaders to hit pit road. And behind him, Jake Baskinger also doing the same thing, doing the undercut strategy. Usually undercutting is very significant. It looked like, I think, the car 0 of Eric DeMax might have hit the wall off turn 4. New race leader Dejon Weeks is in the lead. Oh, man! Vignacco nearly spun it out getting onto pit road. How many laps is Monster Energy Racing willing to put Dejon Weeks out there? It's already been 2 laps since the race leader Dylan Schwellenberg came down pit road. Here comes Weeks. You know, you can't let everybody get the undercut power on you. However, Weeks will have much more fresher tires than everybody else. Here comes Dylan Schwellenberg. We're going to watch and see. Now, Dylan Schwellenberg, he's had such a terrific year, but he wants to go out on top. Had a pretty bad few races as of late, and I think he did it. Looks way out ahead. Yes, he is. And Jake Baskinger, also doing the undercut strategy, has propelled him into what will be a net second position there. A few drivers still yet to pit. Vince Breeze, Ryan Acosta, they're posted as 1 and 2. But it will be Dylan Schwellenberg and Jake Baskinger that will be 1 and 2 when this cycles out. Everybody is starting to cycle out just a little bit. Dylan Schwellenberg to the inside of Will Goss to put the 22nd car 1 lap down. We're going to take you through the field. Dylan Schwellenberg is in the lead. Jake Baskinger is in second position and in a good spot to be in to try and fight for the win tonight. Third place, Alex Benyako. Fourth is Vince Freeze. Is that correct? Did Vince Freeze come out in fourth? No. Wait, we're going to wait and see when he comes back to the start-finish line. I do think Vince Freeze is 1 lap down. The scoring has him in the 4th position. No, Vince Freeze has yet to pit. I forget, Vince Freeze did pit a few laps earlier because of that flat tire, and now he's on old tires and getting his doors blown off. Turner's now 4th, Weeks in 5th. 6th position is now DJ Curtis. Then it's Vince Freeze, but it will soon to be what looks like Anthony Marchese in the 54. And then James Sorfox and Sean Harple making up the top 10. Matt Rodriguez, Jeffery White, Martinsville winner in 12th. Dylan Young in 13th. 14th position's Jeff James. And 15th is Zayden Davidson still. Eric DeMax not having the best of day. He had a very rough one at Martinsville. He was looking so good, but got taken out after having to pit because of a problem. He's in 16th. 17th is Joseph Shrigley. He's had a good year. He's in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. One thing that he is really fighting hard to stay in these final 2 races. Dom Capps in 18th. Charlie Smith in 19th. Charles Sanford 20th. Jacob Hart in 21st. And that is all the cars on the lead lap. Jake Baskinger racing hard against Alex Benyako. That is a battle for 2nd and 3rd. Deeper in the field, we will go through the rest of the field for you as we are now past halfway. Will Goss beating Ryan Griffin on the racetrack for 21st position. RJ Bishop behind both of them. Then it's Richard Johnson in 24th. Cal Farrell, man, what a block by Jesse Tunner down into turn 3. Tunner blocking Weeks, that is 4th position. And then Cal Farrell in the 57. 25th on the racetrack, then it's Peter Onchak, Samuel England. England ahead of Acosta. Acosta ahead of the 33 of Brandon Beal. Beal has to get up there and race with the 51 of Goss to try and be locked in for the finale. Well, Beal's ahead of Chris Dodd for 30th. Dodd's not having the best of day. They kind of seemed like they were turning the corner, but they're struggling again here at Rockingham. Logan Cloud in the 56. There he is ahead of Ryan Reed. Reed's closing in on Cloud. And then it's Sean Art, who's having a pretty miserable day, all things considering. Looking for Nick Macy's the next car. There he is ahead of the 70 of Mitchell Collins. There he is, but there's Cole Baker. Baker having a very bad day. You know, he hit the wall early on. I think they may have done damage repair on the 99 car. Well, this will be the flip side car for next season for Cole Baker. Still going to get a lot of help from Cybertron Motorsports, teammates with Goss next season, as Baker will go to flip side to try and benefit that organization to get better. And well, Daniel Bouchard, he's 2 laps down ahead of Allison Rain, Matt Johnson, and Zachary Fitzwater. Out of the race, well, not out of the race entirely for Vince Breeze. He's in 41st, but Cody Llamas the only retirement in today's race. But the battle for the lead looks like it's about to get heating up in just a little bit. Jake Baskinger and Alex Benyako are within 2 seconds of Dylan Schwellenberg, and they are closing the gap just a little by little. Nearly 2/10 that lap. Jake Baskinger shaved off of Dylan Schwellenberg. And Jake Baskinger would love to grab a victory in today's race in his return after a horrific crash at Homestead that set him out at Martinsville. But Benyako, who could have won at Homestead, is looking to get another victory in his final season as well. Very quietly, Jeffery White has moved his way into the top 10 and has just recently passed James Sorfox, and Jeffery White's in the 9th. It wasn't long ago Jeffery White was 20th, and now he's inside the top 10. That team made adjustments for him. His teammate fell out of the race. What better justice it could be if Jeffery White could get Kurtis Racing another race win tonight. But he's got a long ways to go. 13 seconds back to Dylan Schwellenberg. Less than half a second now. Half a second back to Dylan Schwellenberg. Jake Baskinger, the Georgia native, by lap 90, is knocking on the door of the race lead. 61 points ahead. I cannot believe Jake Baskinger had the championship at his fingertips a whole race, a whole entire race, and then some over second place in points, and had to miss Martinsville the next race. Finished poorly at Homestead, didn't even race at Martinsville, and now here at Rockingham, he's coming in half a race behind his championship rival to win the championship. This would be big determination from Jake Baskinger in the 2022 season if he could take it back and win the championship. Winning the race would be icing on the cake and a pep in his step. Schwellenberg really defending the inside here. He's going to open the door to arc the corner. Baskinger's still there. Oh, look at how good he can roll the corner. Baskinger can roll the corner so much better than Dylan Schwellenberg. And Jake Baskinger, for the first time all day, is going to take the lead. And DJ Kurtis is getting told Jake Baskinger is in the lead. Wow, 6th position. He's in 6th place right now, which is usually very solid. But 50 points for winning the race. And DJ Kurtis right now would get 37 points. So that is a difference of 13 points. And, well, 28 minus 13, you get the point. 15-point difference heading into Atlanta. Kurtis would be over Jake Baskinger, which is not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. Kurtis, though, has a long time. Still over 50 laps to go in this race. Alex Benyako, who has been fast today, has just worked his way around Dylan Schwellenberg into 2nd position. And now Baskinger has to be the one getting around lap traffic. And how about this for a battle? To try and be locked in for Atlanta to be inside the top 30 in owner points, but also to get that little top 30 in owner points bonus. Brandon Beal just behind Will Goss. Beal struggled right there off the corner, but he has moved right in behind of Will Goss. Benyako to the inside of Jake Baskinger, going to try and take the lead away. Both Benyako and Baskinger are bowing out of Sony Cup Series competition at the end of the year. Benyako not retiring, just stepping away from Sony Cup Series action. We do not know if he'll be back at any point in the Sony Cup Series, but if this is the final farewell for both of these drivers, they've had a heck of a career. Benyako in such a short time has rose to the occasion and proven to be one of the best in the Sony Cup Series. And no doubt, if he was racing next year, would be the ideal championship contender to win the 2023 crown. But he has delivered for CM Racing this year. Benyako has a chance to be the top CM Racing driver, top Chevy driver in the point standings. And, well, that's something he's going to try and do. But mainly, Benyako just wants to win races. And that's exactly what he's after. Baskinger, a win would put him 5 wins clear for the most wins all time of a driver this season. It's been since 2016, I think since 2016, where the most wins of a season was less than 5. It's been a long time since a season has had 4 or less wins all time for max of a driver. I think Baskinger and Weeks are tied with 4 wins at most of a driver this season. And looks as though if Baskinger wants to win the championship, he's got to add a 5th win this season. Zachary Fitzwater, we're also going to be saying goodbye to him at Atlanta. Atlanta will be his final race. A lot of people talked about him probably coming back for the Daytona 500 in 2023, but that is not going to happen. Atlanta will be the final time Zachary Fitzwater races. These two right here playing cat and mouse, Jake Baskinger and Alex Benyako. Fitzwater just went 3 laps down. He's in 41st position. Baskinger looking to the inside, but Benyako covers it. Baskinger looking to roll the inside to the inside. Baskinger for the lead. Just ahead of them, Jacob Hart, last on the lead lap in 19th position. And Jake Baskinger coming back to the line. It'll be 43 laps to go. They will have to pit one more time. And Baskinger's back out ahead again with 50 points. And Dejon Weeks to the inside of Dylan Schwellenberg to get on the podium. Jussie Turner rounding out the top 5. But Anthony Marchese has closed in on the battle for 6. John Weeks trying to bust his way through of that traffic. That was a big minefield. You see them all through turns 1 and 2 as they roll on your screen. Daniel Bouchard and Zachary Fitzwater really slowing up everybody off the corner. Jeff James grazes the wall. And how about that? Dylan Schwellenberg getting held up by Fitzwater. Turner's by for 4th. In 5th place, give it to DJ Kurtis. Moving up into the top 5. Dylan Schwellenberg very slow in the front straightaway. I think Schwellenberg was the first to pit, and I think the tire wear is starting to kick in for Dylan Schwellenberg. He desperately needs to try and get down pit road, I think. That would be great for him. But Kurtis moving his... Oh, Turner's going to short pit. Jussie Turner's going to short pit. Dejon Weeks is going to short pit. Did any of the leaders? No, they did not. Dejon Weeks with a masterful strategy to come down pit road. DJ Kurtis staying out, though. Will the leaders try to duck down pit road? Yes, they will. Jake Baskinger in the 97 going to come down pit road, bringing Alex Benyako. Weeks was going to try to do the undercut by 1 lap. And Kurtis and Schwellenberg and Harple, they all coming down pit road. We'll wait and see on this one. Dejon Weeks. This outlap is very important. There went Baskinger. There went Benyako. And here's Weeks. Off the corner, there's the leaders. Weeks might have something for Jake Baskinger. Weeks is coming up on the scene. Baskinger trying to cover the outside. I think Weeks has a big of a run here for the race lead. Monster Energy Racing, throw it at him. And, whoa, man. Got to get the tires heat up by both drivers. And Alex Benyako and Jussie Turner are seemingly in this fight. Logan Cloud re-entering the racetrack just ahead of Baskinger. Gonna open the door. Here comes Weeks. Dejon Weeks to the inside of Jake Baskinger. Baskinger round the outside of Logan Cloud. Cloud really struggling on the inside. Baskinger makes the top work. Benyako to the outside of Weeks, but Cloud goes right to the top. It's going to open the door possibly for Jussie Turner further back to try and nab third. Nearly bounces off of Shrigley. Shrigley in car 86, 1 lap down in 19th. Oh, man, contact a little bit. Benyako getting frustrated with Logan Cloud. I think there was an engine failure on the inside in turns 1. Saw some smoke there. The smoke is from Eric DeMax. An engine failure. Another engine failure from the Chevrolet camp. The Flying Fox Alliance. They have really struggled here. I think it's called the Skytech Racing Alliance now. What, the 48 today, the 0 as well. They have had a lot of engine failures in the last 2 races, and that's a lot of cause for concern for the Chevrolet camp. Well, oh man. Wow. Nearly 30 laps to go, and car 30 is just sitting there licking his chops. Monster Energy versus Bang Energy at the front of the field. All we need is a Red Bull driver up there right now, but instead you have your insurance. You may need it after them 2 drivers up ahead go racing head-to-head. The Aflac machine. Jussie Turner poised to try and nab a race win. For Jussie Turner, a winless season A win is all that he wants to cap off this 2022 year. Dejon Weeks and Jake Baskinger both have 4 wins apiece in this season, but it is Jake Baskinger has the most at stake. 5th on the racetrack, DJ Kurtis. Kurtis is going to have to try and run down Alex Benyako, who is still trying to stay in the hunt for this. 2.5 seconds behind the leaders. 30 to go, though. Dejon Weeks there looking for any opportunity, and it may come. Another engine failure. Who is that? Was that Jeffery White? Jeffery White in the 11. The second Kurtis Racing car. The second Kurtis Racing car blew up. The fans are making it known out there. Whoa. Everyone going crazy there. Chevrolet, what is going on? We have not seen something like this happen in a long time. 3 Chevrolet drivers, all from getting the same engines and working together, have all blew up. Jeffery White was running inside the top 10, and the engine lets go with about 30 laps to go. And the Skyteca Racing Alliance guys have to be absolutely fuming with GM, General Motors. Wow. Not a whole lot you can say about that as the race continues to tick away. Chevrolet dropping like flies, but at the lead, here comes Weeks. Weeks driving into the inside. Jesse Tunner's there too, trying to get redemption for Martinsville. He's in the hunt, but it is car 3, who Weeks drove for last year, that's in the way and getting lapped for the second time this race. Ryan Griffin. Griffin's down in 26th position. Up ahead's Mac Johnson for Breeding Enterprises in 37th position, keeping it clean out there. Charles Sanford last on the lead lap in 14th position. We are lapping cars. Oh, Baskinger almost lost it. Really loose. Brandon Beal and Ryan Acosta lap cars in the way. That's dropped Baskinger down to 4th and just ahead of Kurtis. And Jesse Tunner to the inside of Dejon Weeks. From nowhere today, Jesse Tunner rises from the ashes, from the misery that was the end of Martinsville for this entire organization and race team. Jesse Tunner leads at Rockingham. Oh, a flat tire for Mac Johnson. Johnson trying to bring it back to pit road. We were just talking about him. Oh, Baskinger! Baskinger's got a lot of front end damage. Mac Johnson spinning down the racetrack. Kurtis misses it. What a miracle it is that he missed that accident. Jeff James really slow on the front straightaway. The caution flag is out. Unbelievable. And Jake Baskinger, all that front end damage. He got real swirly off turn 4, lost time to the leaders. Another engine failure. Are all of them just going to go out? Ryan Griffin, an engine failure under yellow flag. We lost Cody Llamas. We lost Eric DeMax. We lost Jeffery White, and now we're losing Ryan Griffin. All of the Chevrolets are going out, and it's the Skytech Racing Alliance. 4 cars in the same alliance losing an engine. Wow, I can barely keep my voice up with this. Oh my goodness. Mac Johnson, we were just praising him for having a clean race. A tire goes down, and he tries to steer clear of trouble, but that apron there is so treacherous, and he tried to get down as much as he could, but he was still in the racing line, and Jake Baskinger didn't expect him to be there, and ran slap in the back of him, and now has a ton of front end damage. For Jake Baskinger, that incident may be what takes him to losing more points today. Jake Baskinger is 4th right now, and DJ Kurtis is in 5th. Kurtis has to be thinking he's got to finish ahead of that 97 to keep him from gaining any points. But Tunner leading today's race in the closing laps, less than 20 to go. This is a big opportunity for him to try and finally win this season. Benyako's there, Kurtis to the outside. That's a very ambitious move by DJ Kurtis. Kurtis just needs to play it patient. Weeks though in the 30, can't he find his way to the inside? Joseph Shrigley getting back on the tail end of the lead lap. Benyako and Turner, 1-2, gets away. They're racing nearly 3 wide back there with Schwellenberg. They work it out. But for Jake Baskinger, it'll be super difficult to be able to beat DJ Kurtis with the damage on the hood of that machine. We're going to watch and see if he can do it with about 15 laps to go. 1 and 2 in the championship. How aggressive will Jake Baskinger get? 3 wide up in front of Jake Baskinger. Logan Cloud at the bottom. On Bassinger's going to try and go high. Oh, Kurtis nearly into the left rear. They're 3 wide. Cole Baker downstairs. Dylan Young in the Hooters Ford behind him. Rain in the 29's in the wall. Oh, Kurtis and Baskinger. Baskinger lifts. Baskinger probably didn't need to lift, but they're nearly wrecking in the back. Wow. So DJ Kurtis got a golden goose of something happening to Jake Baskinger. Bassinger's way up top, but it's still a long ways to go. And, well, good thing you're not driving a Chevrolet today, because it looks like you may have enough reliability to make it to the checkered flag. But here's another Chevrolet, probably the last one, the last of the Chevys. Oh, Benyako hugging the inside. There's a car stopped, and it's a GM car. Oh, my goodness. General Motors, another engine has let go. I think, oh my goodness, I can't believe the reliability issues that General Motors has right now that caused Alex Benyako to have to lift a ton in turn 1. Wow, 12 laps to go for Jesse Turner. He's got a decent margin, but that can be made up. Alex Benyako just behind Jesse Turner. A miserable run at Martinsville for Jesse Turner. This would be justice for him to try and get back that result. Dejon Weeks is in 3rd. 4th is DJ Kurtis. And Kurtis trying to get around the lap cars. Weeks is way up ahead. I don't know if Kurtis will be able to get up there. But how about Dylan Young? Young looks like he's going to get a top 5 run today, if not a top 10 result. Good on Dylan Young to keep on digging. Dylan Schwellenberg's in 6th. Harpel's in 7th. 8th position is Jake Baskinger. Not entirely sure how many points he's losing at this current moment. Looks as though he is gaining 35 points, and DJ Kurtis is gaining 41. So, looks like 6 points lost, which would mean a 34-point difference heading into Atlanta, which is very tough to make up. Baskinger definitely needed to gain ground in the championship. He didn't need to lose anymore, but it's still not over until it's over. And we'll take apart very slow on the top. DJ Kurtis has closed that gap on Dejon Weeks. That's the battle for 3rd. And Alex Benyako trying to close that gap on Jesse Turner. Another engine failure, this time from the Ford team. Martin Motorsports. Dom Caps was running in 9th position. This right here is exactly why it is never over till it's over. This has nothing to do on the championship, but if this happens to any of our championship contenders, this turns the entire championship picture on its lid. It certainly is a shame that Jake Baskinger got involved in that incident, but it's also very much a shame for Dom Caps, who also missed Martinsville and needed a strong day to kind of get himself back in that mojo. Caps was running in 9th place inside the top 10 for Martin Motorsports, which was a very good run for Dom Caps. And you hate to see runs like that go away. He needed that for a rebounding. Jake Baskinger just behind Harpel and Dylan Young. That is 2 points, 2 positions just ahead of him that he so desperately needs. And Dylan Schwellenberg's there as well, with 4 laps to go, 3 at the stripe. It's very possible that Baskinger could get around Harpel and Dylan Young. Possibly team orders there for Turner Performance Racing. Young helping out Baskinger just a little bit. Baskinger worked his way underneath of Sean Harpel. And that's 1 extra point for him in this championship bid. But for the lead of this race, Alex Benyako closing in on Jesse Turner. There'll be 2 laps to go at the stripe. Benyako looking for another victory in the Sony Cup Series. 2 to go. But for Jesse Turner, this could be one of his last chances to grab a victory in the 2022 season. What a heartbreak for this team at Martinsville, but it looks like it's going to come full circle at Rockingham. He had to wait it out. Turner's pain at Martinsville is going to be his gain today. The white flag flying one more time around at Rockingham. Benyako just doesn't have an answer. Turner, for the majority of today's race, was not really the best car out there, but he rose to the occasion. And when he needed to do it the most, he rose to the top at the right time. And for the 8th year in a row, Kurtis is going to join, or Turner's going to join Kurtis as the only drivers to win in every season for at least one time. Turner wins today. Finally, the defending champion grabs a victory. Turner over Benyako. Weeks and Kurtis rounding out 3rd and 4th. 5th place is Dylan Schwellenberg. 6th is Dylan Young. 7th for Jake Baskinger. 8th, Sean Harple. 9th is his teammate, James Sorfox. And 10th position is Anthony Marchese. The championship rolls on to Atlanta. DJ Kurtis gains ground, or actually, he extends his championship advantage on Jake Baskinger by scoring 41 points this afternoon. And, well, 41 points over 36. 5-point gain, meaning looks as though it's only going to be Kurtis and Baskinger for the championship, and it'll be a 33-point difference heading into Atlanta to decide the 2022 championship. That's your top 10 for today's race. Congratulations to Jesse Turner on winning his first race of the 2022 season and getting redemption from Martinsville. And how about that? Turner, when it looked like he may not even win at all in the 2022 season, he comes on strong and gets it done at the very end of the year. And just like Kurtis, DJ Kurtis and Jesse Turner are the only drivers from the 2015 season all the way to the 2022 season to get at least one win in every season. That is big. 8 consecutive years. Congratulations to Turner, and good luck to DJ Kurtis and Jake Baskinger on winning the 2022 championship. Who will it be? Will it be Kurtis trying to win his 3rd championship and tie Jordan Davis for the most championships of all time of a driver? Or will Jake Baskinger go out on top in his final race in the Sony Cup Series full time? We'll see you then.